Thanks.
Yeah, Nirvana's here.
What?
Nirvana's here.
Nirvana? Oh,
I still don't see it, Tom.
you don't see it? God damn it. All right, give it a minute, see if it shows up. Because it showed up like last time, unless it's, I don't know why it's not working. Oh, it says live. It says MGH, God is a fairy tale. So it says it's open. It says it's on. I see it somewhere.
Yeah. Does that include Spinoza's God?
Sort of.
Oh. Because I don't know. I mean, I rule out pantheism whenever I talk about God.
On the stream, I see it says it still says January 6th and like what the old topic that you had on there, Tom.
Yeah.
No, all you have to do is click on his TJump YouTube page, and the first video is the live video of us.
No, I know. I meant on his gaming channel. The other one.
Oh yeah. The other one I haven't changed any of that stuff, so that stuff's gonna all be the same because I stream to restream, and then restream does all that stuff. So yeah, that's all gonna be the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, God only exists as a projection of our ego. So.
I'm only trying to make sure it works on the main YouTube channel right now. I'm not worried about anything else at the moment.
That's fine. No problem. Hey, Pat, have you ever talked to John Lee and those guys before? Or
Unfortunately, yes.
how was that?
John Lee is blocked. He has made my block list. There's a few people that have made my block list that I'm sure we may or may not see in this room. But yes, on Clubhouse, it has made my block list.
Nice.
Yeah, I just hold rooms. I don't really. I learned how silly some of the precepts were, and so I started just holding my own rooms and doing Ask an Atheist rooms. And I find that that's much easier to do one-on-ones because I normally don't have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people on audio. It's just myself and the theist who has questions for me. That's how we kind of work it out, and we start the conversation there.
That's a pretty good format. I like that.
It's not mine. I stole it from another Frank, by the way.
Oh, nice.
It's my buddy Frank on Clubhouse. He has the same format. I used to be letting a lot of people up, learned how kind of that blows up real easy, and then went into his rooms, learned that he was doing that, and I asked him if I could steal it, and it's worked very well.
Twitter notification. Oh, that's going to be the same one. The Twitter still incorrect title also. I don't think you can change titles retroactively.
Oh, I just looked up. My Discord still has the Grissom Space name. Need to change that.
Oh, there's Detroyer. Detroyer, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Darth to refute Cthulhu being the foundation for a reason. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Because Darth, he objectively knows. He self-consciously denies the truth of Cthulhu by the fact that he uses reason. The fact that he uses reason is evidence that Cthulhu exists.
Well, the fun part was that the first time he came up onto my stage, and I learned very quickly about him, the first time he came up onto one of my stages of my Ask an Atheist rooms, I just heard him try to do the local or global atheist thing to someone else and try to worm his way around to different, random points. And then he came into my room like I wasn't even there in the past room. Pat, are you a global or local atheist? It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I didn't just hear this. All right.
I just like it when he calls people bullies. That's kind of like Pot calling the silverware black. Like, forgive me if I get a lot of my sayings from Arn Ra.
That's okay. You know who I need to. You know who I need to have on again, and we screwed it up. I had Matt Dillahunty on my show, and this was right before the 2020 election, and we had it was a great show. We go back, look at it. Audio's messed up on his side. Don't know what. We don't know why, because everything else he does is fine, you know. But we did it there, and for some reason the audio messed up, so we have to reschedule again. And he's been busy, and then he had the surgery thing recently. So once he's recovering a bit, he and I are gonna get that done.
How did
Aaron Ra
you-
would be someone I'd like to have.
How did you record his audio?
Well, no. So we did. So normally I do Zoom meetings, right?
Yeah.
And the audio is no issue like with most other people's microphones. But for some reason, I don't know what it was, but his mic when he came in after we were done, the recording was crap. But when we were talking to each other, it was fine. When it was live, when we were in it, it was great. But looking back at the recording, it was shit.
Yeah, I think I've had that happen once too. For me, what I do is I just record desktop audio. That way, it makes sure not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear Matt is actually better from that that surgery. Someone said it here on the Discord. So
Yeah. So I dropped atheist debater label.
why?
Because personally, I just feel like it doesn't really express me in the same way heathen does, because it's more of my disbelief in the existence of the Abrahamic gods, or
It's because he's a Cthulhu debater. He's a theist Cthulhu debater.
yeah.
So you're pro Cthulhu, okay?
Yeah, because I mean, like the Pastafarians, the Rastafarians, they all live a pretty badass lifestyle, unlike Abrahamic faith. Like, but yeah,
So, what's the topic tonight?
Just the first thing I came up with. So, whatever you want. Not really a forced topic.
I mean, we can always change the topic. That's fine. Doesn't matter.
No, it's good.
change the topic to whether Marcionism is the best version of Christianity.
Well, do you ever see the Christians reading the Bible like from beginning to end, as opposed to like just phrasing those learning things, the verses?
I mean, I've seen a person make an essay on Mar of reading the Satanic Bible.
Yeah, is it really much different from Satan?
Yeah. I don't know. I just prefer Wicca over Satanism, personally.
No, I mean Christians. Are they different from Satan? You worship a being.
No, Satan's actually the good guy. Like, I would rather worship Satan, unlike Yahweh.
Life to Jesus Christ.
Anyone want to tell us why God is not a fairy tale? Anyone in the audience? Or tell us why God is a fairy tale?
He only exists in the minds of believers.
But could he exist in the minds of believers and still be objectively real?
I say no.
No, because he's supernatural.
Well, I mean, like, something could hypothetically, like, there could be like a being who like only exists in ideas. It's like a new kind of a being that can leech off of
It'd have
people's
to be like
minds.
extra dimensional something.
Yeah, so it's
And then
possible.
Now we're stretching into
like
multiverse,
Cthulhu.
but yeah.
Like Cthulhu.
Yeah. So it's like God actually exists as its own conscious entity, but it has to like leech off of the minds of others. So it literally does exist, and it's just leeching off the minds of the theists in their minds. But it can only exist in their minds, so it's still technically objective.
Yeah. I think they found like a part of the brain that like, is where we get God from.
Oh, you talking about why we give agency to things?
Yeah, like, but
Yeah.
I think there's like one that specifically is like where we attribute God to, or something like that. Like
The God
that
helmet
specific
thing?
concept.
There was the God helmet thing, but that wasn't as rigorous.
Well, didn't that really just have to do with like near death experiences though? Like,
I don't think it had to do
brain
with
activity during NDEs. Yeah.
I don't think the brain helmet did that. I think it was more something else. It was more like it was just interacting with the mind where the mind can ask itself something, essentially.
yeah. I just know that like what was it? I just know that Richard Dawkins one time did a described a near death experience or something like that, where he's like, it was a chilling but otherwise pleasant experience.
He would, wouldn't he? Describe
Pretty-
it like that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I was asked the other night. The people say, well, all this beauty in the world, and I said, okay, great. I said, what about the bad shit?
yeah.
And,
It's
and
like
they're
when things go wrong, you change your song. God never gets the blame.
correct. It's always something else. It's never the main character that's supposedly all powerful that could snap things in an instant. Instead, blame off. Shake the blame off to someone else. Right.
I just said
pretty crazy.
I found out God didn't exist when people said thank God. Because why would people need to thank God when his plan is ultimately good?
And don't forget the predestination factor in certain religions.
Well, I mean, if God has a divine plan, I don't see like how you could I don't see how there isn't any predetermination.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is if it works out that way, then why the kind of like George Carlin said is why the F are you praying in the first place, right?
Yeah, George Carlin, I just like the part where he's saying that he would pray to a person that's not omniscient, Joe Pesci, because he looks like a guy who could get things done. He's like, Joe Pesci doesn't fuck around. He's like, he even helped out with the barking dog that my neighbor had. He said, Joe Pesci straightened out that cocksucker with one visit. It's easy what you can accomplish with a simple baseball bat.
I wouldn't pray to the sun. Wouldn't assume on our friendship.
Yeah.
Overnight, just like that, I was a sun worshiper. Well, not overnight, you can't see it, but the next morning.
He's like, but I don't pray to the sun. I pray to Joe Pesci. He's like, one thing, first of all, I think he's a good actor. Okay. Yeah. I like the routine he did where he's talking about, how people who talk about he's up there when you're at the funeral. Like people like who died, they're like, he's up there. Smiling down at us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he came up with this one where he's like, why aren't they ever down there?
Right. All right.
Why could he be down there looking up?
He's like, grandma's, he's like making cookies. This time she's not using an oven.
Not many people on tonight. I'm going to go watch some anime.